Hi guys, Good March here from Women with Voices and her Unleash Your Inner Badass campaign. Help you to ditch those negative messages in your head and to live a more naturally badass life. Anyway, today guys, we're talking relationships. I don't do this one often, do I? I don't do relationships often, and that's because I'm sick and tired of it being pushed out there the whole time that a woman's worth is when she has a man. It drives me insane. So I rarely touch these subjects. So for me to touch these subjects, you must know it's something special. And it's because I have the wonderful, badass, spiritual relationship coach, Confi Chiname with me. Did I say your name right there, Confi?
Almost. Chiname.
Chiname.
Yeah.
Much more sassy. Confi Chiname with me. And she's a spiritual relationship coach. So she has a whole new way about the dating scene, how you should be dated. And what she says is that her methodology can help set your love life on fire. So we're going to be talking to the wonderful Confi about that. So stay listening.
Yay.
Hey Confi, how are you?
I'm good, thank you. How are you? I'm so happy to be here, by the way.
I'm more than happy that you're here. I'm more happy. So you're gonna have to keep that microphone really close to your mouth for me. Is that okay, honey bun?
Okay, yeah. Can you hear me now?
Yeah, great stuff. Brilliant.
Good.
So Confi, you are a spiritual relationship. In fact, I'm not going to say any more. Can you tell everyone what you do?
Okay, good. So, I'm going to try to keep it really short because there's so much in this. But basically what I do is that I help women to really reignite sort of like the magic within them, which in turn results to basically having really outstanding relationships. So that's basically like a summary.
Fabulous. So it's the magic that's already inside them. Now that must be quite challenging for reasons that we live in a world where they tell us that the magic is outside of us. I'm going to go to that in a minute, but I want to just touch on your story first of all, because you were living the traditional life, so to speak. Is that right? And then had this awakening, like, hold on a minute, there's something wrong with this picture. Can you tell us about that?
Yeah, sure. Okay. I'll try to keep this short because I can ramble about my story.
Me and you both.
As you can imagine. Okay, so basically, like, I spent my whole life, I grew up basically believing that I need to achieve all of these things in order to be happy. Like, I need to really get good grades in school, which is not bad. I need to get good grades in school. I need to get a really prestigious career. I need to find a man and then get married and have kids, and then I'll be happy. So I was always told that basically I need to kind of sacrifice my joy or my happiness in the moment, and then once I get there, then I'll be really happy. So basically I spent my whole life just really, really working hard. I worked really hard. I went to uni. I got the top grades ever. I had some relationships as well in my life, and they're just kind of really ending really badly. But I thought, you know what, once I get a really stable relationship, and then have that dream of getting married, and then I'll be happy. And then so I went to uni, I qualified as an accountant, I had a boyfriend, and then I just got to this stage in my life where I had everything that was supposed to make me happy, but I wasn't happy. And I was just I don't know what to do.
Go on,
I don't know what to do. I don't know what to do. I've done everything that I know, everything that I was told, that everything that I think I should have done in order to be happy, but I'm still really miserable. And I became really hopeless. I didn't know what to do. I had just nothing. I tried everything, and I became really depressed. I became really, really depressed. I remember I used to just go to work, go home, sleep, maybe eat, maybe not eat, and then that's literally my day. And then it got really bad. It got to a point where my boyfriend was like, you know what, I think this relationship thing that we're doing is not really working. Maybe we should just kind of just end it for now. Literally, I got dumped.
Marvelous.
I got dumped.
Perfect. I'm going to ask you to hold your mouthpiece part nearer to your, just speak closely into that for me. Yeah. Carry on there.
Okay. Yeah, can you hear me?
Much better, yes.
Okay. Okay.
So you got dumped.
Yes, I got dumped. And this was like, I always had the same cycle with relationships. I'd always like meet someone, it would go really well like the first few months, and then things would start to get quite bad, and then it would just get worse, and then it would just be like, oh my gosh, this is just terrible, and then it would end somehow. And then it was like the same cycle, and then I just got tired of it. Like I got tired of having the same cycle, and I just thought that I tried everything, especially in terms of relationships. I tried everything, and that got me really depressed, basically.
It's funny actually because you're 24 now, aren't you?
I'm 28 now.
28
but when that happened,
I wouldn't have 24. I was going to say, oh, you look very young, my darling. You know, because I had the same epiphany. So I had everything really by age 23. I was that young. I know.
Yeah.
I had everything, quote unquote. And I say everything, this is what, and I'm doing quote unquote because what the media throws at us as to what we need.
Yeah.
And I had the house, the car, the boyfriend, the this, the that, and had all. And I remember thinking the same thing. So why does this feel how it's supposed to feel?
Yeah. Yeah.
They told us that it's supposed to feel like a certain way. Why don't I feel like that kind of thing?
Yeah.
And then
exactly.
come to my house, be like, "Well, you have this," and I remember thinking, but it doesn't feel wow inside.
Yeah.
And it's that fulfillment. It came to that thing where, exactly. And I've never heard anybody else have the same story.
Oh my gosh.
It just got to that point. It's like, actually, I don't feel fulfilled. Actually, and I thought maybe it's because the house isn't big enough. Maybe because I need a bigger car then, and maybe I was chasing all this stuff, and then I realised that hold on, there's something wrong with this picture.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, that's amazing that you've got like a similar story. Yeah, like exactly the same for me. I had the job, I had the qualifications, I got like the top grade you can ever get from university. I had the boyfriend, I had the car, like everything. And I was just miserable. My relationship was just like, I had a boyfriend and he was there, but I just didn't feel good. Like everything was just not going really well. And obviously I ended up getting dumped.
It sounds as though he actually done you a marvelous favor.
yeah, exactly. Because it was literally at that point where I got really low. Like I even got to a point where I was just like, I don't think I want to do this life thing anymore. Like I don't really think I want to be alive anymore. Like I used to walk down the street and just feel like, if I just walk in front of this car, like would I die? Actually, hold on, I might not die, and then I'll just be hurt. So maybe let me not do that. And those are scary thoughts to be having, you know. And literally that was the moment when I came into like this self-development and self-empowerment world, and I really started to like learn like all these principles about how you have the power within you to affect the things in your life, to change your life. Like you don't necessarily need outside circumstances to change how you feel or like how your life turns out. We have all the power within us to really kind of like create the life that we want. And that was so empowering for me. Like, and I remember my life just started to go up. Like I started to feel better. I started to go out more, make friends and socialize, and just I felt much better. And I've literally like spent the last 4 years of my life really diving deep into this, because I find this to be so like, this is just so exciting for me. This is so exciting. I love it. I love learning about how the mind works, how we can actually create the life that we want just by becoming the better version of ourselves, and like using the power of our minds and all these different spiritual techniques and tools to basically create the life that we want.
Yeah. And it's quite life-changing, like you said, and you picked up, and I was smiling when you said a bit like, you know, if I walked in front of a car, and I was smiling around that part, because I was just basically, you know, I just know that so many people hit that point where it's like, if this is what it's about, like yeah, why continue? But you don't want people to feel like that. And it's just like, there is another way. And it's, I get upset by it as well, because I just think the lie that we're being sold over and over again, it's making people sick. It's making people feel suicidal. It's making them feel that way without realizing that there is another way. But for you in particularly, I know you're specializing more on the relationship side, and a topic close to my heart, because I've said to people before that, you can attract guys. You can light up your magic from within. They kind of look at me like I'm crazy. They want this formula that is all like outside in. It's like, well, no, it's inside out. And then like, so I'm not going to rattle on it because I'm already sold on the idea. So I'm going to let you explain.
Oh, great.
So it's in relationships. You talk about allowing people to almost create their magic from within. Can you tell us a bit about that? Because for some people who are not, say, on the spiritual path, they might struggle with, understanding that. Can you explain that a bit more?
Yeah, sure. So, okay, so what I believe is that as much as it's our lives, our relationship are very much an indication of who we are as a person on the inside. Our relationships are almost like a reflection or like a mirror image of who we are on the inside. And when we kind of like allow like our light to shine, and that really kind of like impacts the kind of relationships that we have on our lives. Obviously this is a summary and it goes a lot deeper into this,
Right.
but basically it's about, okay, if we go back a little bit, I always use the same analogy. When we were babies and we were born, we already knew, like, we were already worthy. We felt like as a baby, like, we're already worthy, we're already like good enough, we're already like everything about us was perfect. Basically, like you see a baby doesn't like walk around looking in the mirror saying, I don't know, like I have all these flabs, like maybe somebody might not like me. Like a baby is just like, babies like will eat their own poo and then they'll still feel like they're the shit. Sorry, language.
So I use that language all the time. That's fine.
Okay, good. They still feel like they're the shit, and we love babies.
Yeah,
like we love them. Like we love them. We don't look at a baby and say like, oh, you're not worthy because of what you're doing. We love them for who they are. And somewhere along the line, I don't know, like something happened to us where we started to believe that we needed to do something in order to be worthy. We needed to be a certain way. We needed to change something, or we needed to fix something in order for us to be worthy. And what that does is that it creates all of these like these masks, or like we put on these layers and all of these faces and these masks on ourselves, and that kind of like covers up who we really are. And who we really are is already worthy, is already magical, is already attractive, is already lovable. Like when people get to know who we really are, they're not going to help it. They're just going to want to love us, Like I've found this with people a lot of the times when you really get to know somebody, or when you really get to in a situation where people are like, okay, I'll use an example. Like when people are drunk, which is not a good way to kind of like, because that's not healthy. I'm not advocating that. But people let their guards down. It's not, obviously it's a very unhealthy way. You don't have to be drunk to be yourself, but people let their guards down. All of a sudden, we all really love each other so much more, and it just kind of like shows us like who we really are on the inside is just already worthy. And it's about really kind of like letting go of all of those layers that we've put on, all of those like expectations, all of those things that we've put on throughout our whole lives, and just kind of like allowing ourselves to show up as who we are without that fear of judgment, fear of what people are going to think, fear of what's going to happen, and just kind of like letting go of all of that fears. And we just become really magnetic. We become really attractive. And
it's funny. It's funny speaking with you, because it's just like, I wanted to run a program on this about increasing your magnetism, and it's like,
oh my gosh,
because it's but sometimes many women have issues with it, because it's like they've been conditioned over the years, and that you don't shine, that you keep yourself down, and that you keep yourself under, and shining your light is like we're not allowed to do that. And even on my own programs, I work on having them to let go of those layers or what have you. But you're totally right. When you've gone back to, and I loved your analogy of the baby, because I've not heard that before. It's really good that people love the baby for purity, because there are no masks. And I try to explain to women all the time, it's that freedom from all those layers that actually makes you attractive. That's what makes it magnetic and make people want to come to you. But you're right. I love that analogy, that it's like why we're so attracted to babies, because they're free of those masks.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, Exactly. And they don't try to be somebody else. You know, we're all unique. Like, we're all very, very unique, and we're all beautiful in our uniqueness. Just like, okay, I've heard somebody's, I don't know who said this analogy, but it really stuck with me. It's like when you go into nature and you see trees, like some trees are tall, some of them are short, some of them are broken, some of them, like, they're missing certain parts of them, but they're all just beautiful. They're all like beautiful in how they are, and the fact that they're all different is what makes it beautiful. And yeah, like, babies, they don't try to be somebody else, but they're all very different, and they're all very beautiful, and they're all very lovable. And that's who we are, like, at the core of our being. That's who we really are. And yeah, like, we just put on these masks and all of these things, and when we're able to let go of that, we become really yeah, just like really attractive. Like, we don't need to do all of these things. We just need to be, like, in order to
my favorite word, just be. Okay, but
yeah,
here's the thing, is that like I said, we're on the same page, so you know, you don't have to sell it to me.
yay.
Yeah. Oh no, together on this one. But I'm still going to be thrown at you the objections that I come across, the problems people have, the issues they have. Just hear your take. Of course, people know my take, but it's always really nice to hear another voice on it. You know, you're bringing in new analogies, a new way of seeing things, which is just wonderful for my audience. Thank you so much. So the thing is that the world says that it isn't inside. Okay, that the light is not actually inside of us. The world tells us that you need to have the certain size boobs, certain bums, certain lips, certain height, certain weight, certain blah, blah, blah. This is the machine that's bigger than mine, your voices. Do you know what I mean? It's bigger than us. And it's every day being pumped into our lives, into this vacuum that we're living in. That actually, no, these outside things, these are things that are going to make you compelling. What do you have to say around that? Do you have another bit of advice you could say to women, or indeed men? I have both listened to my show. Say to them, to say, like, that's not the case. I mean, what would you say to that?
You know what? I think most of us can feel it.
Oh, really?
You're probably gonna like realize that I'm really a lot about feelings. Like, I'm a really feeling person.
You're an empath.
I am. I think most of us can feel it, that there's something that's just not right about this. Or like, most of us who are living in this world, we try all of these things, and we can just feel that there's something about it that just doesn't fit right, you know. And I'd ask people to ask themselves, like, does this whole idea that things that are going to make you happy are out there, does that feel like it works for you? Does it feel like it works for you? And most people, we can feel that we're meant for more. We can feel that we're just meant to experience a lot more, like we desire a lot more. And a lot of us have kind of like shut down those desires that we have, because we believe that we can't achieve it. We've been told that we can't achieve it. We've been told that we can't have it, and we've shut it down. But there's a part of us that's always going to be like calling for more, because I believe that as human beings, like, when we're alive, we're meant to just expand. We're meant to have more and just grow and grow and grow. And that's one of those things that we're always going to feel a part of us pulling us for more, basically. For more expansion, to get better and to have more and to experience more, in life. And I think most of us can sort of feel like there's just something about this that doesn't quite fit. Even if you feel like it's perfect.
Do you think that everyone feels that, or do you feel that some people may have become quite numb to it and really don't believe it? You have faith that deep down everybody feels that? Because I sometimes wonder if through habit, through being the inauthentic self for so long, that for some people that it potentially hasn't, that it's, I don't know. What do you think?
I think.
I'm not. This is not. It's a discussion, really. So, like, I'm growth mindset. I'm always looking to learn too. So, so I'm always interested in other people's views on this.
Awesome. Yeah, I guess some people have become numb to it. I think some people have become numb to it, but I also believe that everybody is kind of like on their own journey as well. And whenever somebody doesn't really have the same sort of beliefs or certain perspectives, I don't really judge that, because
No.
I believe there are so many different ways to get to the same place. You know, there's so many different methods to get to the same place. And if what you're doing works for you, then that's great.
If it's
Because
working.
yeah,
Yeah.
if it's working for you, then that's
For
awesome.
me,
Because
it's not really a judgment thing though. It's more like,
yeah,
it's more upsetting for me, because I
yeah,
meet so many women who are so beautiful, so divine, and every single one of them, I can see their uniqueness. I can see that unique fingerprint.
yeah,
But like I said, but everyone's on their journey. They have to realize that in their own time.
yeah,
For me, I just find that when I hear them on that treadmill, listening to this stuff and believing this stuff, for me, I just find that so distressing when I just see all that wonderful awesomeness just trapped inside. I think that's
yeah,
why I feel really passionate about my work, and keep doing what I do,
yeah.
because it is so beautiful.
Yeah, yeah, honestly, like for me as well, that's one of the reasons why I really love doing what I do, because I want to share this message. I want to share what I've been able to accomplish for myself with other people, because I know there was a certain point in my life where I had no hope. I didn't know that like I could have more. I didn't know that I could just feel this good. I didn't know that I could wake up in the morning and feel really excited about my life and just really happy, really excited. I didn't know that I could feel this secure, this confident, and then that if I don't, there are things that I can do to get there, so I really love to share this with everyone.
That
But
they can have this joy. We can all have this joy if we were just.
yeah,
So did you have the layers and then had to learn to let it go? Because once again, certainly over my time, it's getting people to drop those layers.
yeah,
For some people it's just like 2 minutes, and for some people that can be a lot of hard work. Where were you
yeah.
at? Did you have the layers and then had to let them go, or did you just hit that point? It's like, actually, I'm just not living. I'm going to take this mask off. How was that transition
Yeah.
for you?
So for me it was quite a process, taken quite a bit of time, like of having to learn different things. It didn't happen overnight for me, because I feel like I've had quite a long life with all of these things that I've learned, and it's taken a bit of time, and I'm still learning, I'm still growing, I'm still coming across a lot of challenges all the time, like and I have to kind of like really put all of those practices and tools that I know and just remind myself, like, okay, you know what, like, like I can do better. I can just, and just kind of like, I feel like we're always learning. I feel like we're always growing. And with every step that we take, we're going to always have new challenges to face. But it's just that we become better at basically facing those challenges and letting go of all of those layers, so it's kind of like it really is a work in progress, but it's just about becoming better at just going through it, basically.
Cool.
So
And you
yeah.
build resilience, like you said, as you're going along, you get stronger and
Yeah,
stronger. Okay,
yeah,
so
you do.
that's the thing. So we're working on getting rid of these layers. We're increasing more of our magnetism as we do this. More of our inner light is shining through, which becomes much more magnetic.
Yeah,
What I find with this magnetism, whatever you want to call it, is that you
yeah,
attract all sorts of people. You're not necessarily attracting people
yeah,
who are also um, being themselves, who are necessarily
yeah,
different. You can attract light as well as dark. What would
yeah,
you say about that?
yeah. I'd say that, yeah, we will attract all sorts of people, but I find that you kind of need to have um just like a really sensitivity to how you feel. So like for me, when I'm around certain people and maybe like I feel like I'm around a bit of a negative situation, I don't just allow it to sink into me. I do something about it. Either whether I'm gonna leave the situation so that I don't get drawn into it. And then if I can't leave the situation, I also know how to protect my energy, because it's not every time that we can just like leave the situation, because like I love people. I have friends and family who go through things, who are going to go through like negative situations, who are going to be having moments where they are being negative. So it's kind of like about how to just like manage your energy and protect your energy so that you can be that light for the people around you as well, because it's not just about, oh, like I'm just gonna ignore everybody that's negative.
I just strike my light here. Yeah.
You know, because I go through moments as well. Like sometimes I go through moments when I'm feeling a bit doubtful about things, and obviously for me, like those moments don't last very long. But it's kind of like about how we manage our energy and how we protect our energy with those people that we attract around us. And it's about having boundaries as well, like, and just really caring about how you feel. Like I care so much about how I feel. Like if I feel my energy is dropping, I'm gonna do something about that straight away. Like I'm gonna see what I need to do, whether I need to leave the situation if I can. If it's just like, you know what, I don't have to be around here, I don't like it, I'm just gonna leave. Or if it's like I can't leave, then I also know how to protect my energy and how to make sure that I'm taking care of myself, because that's my number one priority, you know, because I need to make sure that I'm good so that I can give to other people as well. I don't know if that makes sense.
It definitely does. I'm nodding my head because it was something I didn't realize I was spiritual till, you know, actually just a few years ago when I started this this transformation, this health transformation. I started running the park and being close to nature. I always loved nature and all the rest of it. Didn't realize that these things made me spiritual.
Wow.
I know my process has been really weird, but this is not about me. I'll do another one. You can interview me one day. And,
yay! I'm looking forward to it. Please, I want to hear your story. It sounds so interesting.
Oh, cool. But but the energy side, I'm loving what you're saying there, because with me, and there may be other people like this, I will share this, that I didn't have any boundaries. I was just like shining. I'd attract energy vampires who were like sucking me dry, and I was really naive, like, oh, what's happening there then? And next thing I'm drained. So then what I used to do is just run. Once I became aware of this energy thing, that I need to protect it, as soon as I came across a negative environment, it was just run. And then but then not realizing that, you know, actually you need to, in some stages, find a place where you just need to build a barrier. Yeah. And so I love that you said that you may have family or friends, what have you, who are just going through a negative time as well. So you don't necessarily want to cut yourself off from them completely. You may have to build a boundary. For those moments, or you know, I mean that's you'd have to decide that, I guess, when you actually go through it. But and I think as well, the thing is as well is that the way I sometimes see it is that what you're actually dealing with is the person's ego most of the time. It's not even necessarily them, it's their ego that's at play. And that's also bringing out those negative energies. So in terms of the whole, keep it on the relationship lark as well. So we can meet a man or indeed a woman. And like I said, you're picking up on their energy as well to make sure that you're kind of in tune. So if you met this person, you've picked up on their energy and it's not in tune with yours, are you saying that you get away even if they're the most good looking person ever, or you kind of work with it? I mean, what do you do when you meet someone who you're attracted to but the energy isn't cool?
Okay, so I think this one kind of like is more about making your own judgment, but I would go with what feels good to me. So if I feel good around you, I'll spend more time with you. If I'm not feeling good around you, then I'm just not going to spend more time around you. I don't know. So
and the key word is the feeling, isn't it? That's the key word, isn't it? How does someone make you feel?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, because
once again, that's quite hard, I think, for many people, because we're living in that world again where it's like, how good looking is that person? How pretty is she? That's that, you know, world we're living in, that takes huge priority. You know, what car they're driving, how much money do they have? And none of these things are about feeling. They're the imagery that's being shoved down our throat again as to who will make you happy. And so for people who were just, you know, feeling around spirituality, what advice would you give to them around that? When like the person's good looking, fancy car, you know, loads of money, and I'm doing or female, it could be either way. What would be a process that they could kind of go through if they're in that situation?
So in a situation where maybe it's
all attraction, it's all like they look good, they're looking great, Is it once again just kind of tapping into their feelings straight away? So that, like, is there a process that you should be going through, do you think, whenever you meet anybody?
Yeah. I wouldn't say like a process as such, but I think it's more like just really like prioritizing how you feel, because okay, I keep talking about feelings, but
Oh,
this
I
is
love it.
really this is really important because of the fact that how we feel determines what we do, and then what we do determines what we have in our lives. So when we, okay, for just one an example, when we feel good, we're more likely to go out there and do stuff that we want to do, and then when we do those stuff, we're more likely to attract more things into our lives. Like, for example, if I'm feeling really good, I'm more likely to go out there and interact with people, and then I'm probably going to meet people and then make more friends, and then have more experiences in life, and have more joy, and just attract more things that feel good and good and good. And when we're not feeling good, we don't tend to attract the things that we want, because when we don't feel good, again, it affects what we do or how we show up as a person. If I'm feeling a bit down, or like I'm feeling a bit low, and then I go out there, I'm not going to be having the most fun conversations with people. And then those people who are really like high energy, the people that we want in our lives, are not necessarily going to be drawn to me. They're going to come talk to me, and they're going to be like, well, I don't feel good around this person.
Yeah, it's quite.
Yeah. Like, oh, she's kind of really like sucking my energy, so I just go talk to somebody else instead. So it's really kind of like about really prioritizing how we feel, because how we feel will literally like determines what we do. And obviously how we feel also has to do a lot to do with what we're thinking and the thoughts that we're having in our minds. So if I meet somebody and I don't really feel good around them, I already know that when my energy is affected, that's affecting what I'm attracting into my life. That's affecting how the things that I'm going to attract into my life. And especially when it comes to relationships, this is a big part, because our relationships really filter into all other parts of our lives. Like, for example, if my relationship with my boyfriend is going really sour and it's going really bad and we're having arguments, I'm going to wake up just not feeling good. And then I'm probably not going to be able to have this conversation with you. Do you know what I mean? And then that's affecting all other my future possibilities, and like all other things and all people that I meet. So it doesn't just affect our relationships, it affects so many parts of our lives. If you're having a job interview and then you're feeling really bad, like your chances of really doing good with that interview are already kind of like lower, and that affects your money and your success and your career and your business. So who we have in our lives really matters.
You know, I wish I could hug you through the screen.
Yay.
I wish I could hug you hard, because and you made my heart just race there, because this is what upsets me about this whole thing where women are so defined by, you know, whether they have a man or not. And I just feel that whole stereotype and that stigma is so disempowering, because it often leaves people in relationships which are just not serving them, but they stay in them because they believe that, because their self-worth comes from it, but not realizing, you know, just how much of their lives it's impacting by staying there, because they've got because the stigma that's attached to it, and I've got to be in this man, I've got to be with this marriage, which is absolute. And it's like, this is one life. Like you said, I mean, you've taken it even like a million times further than me, like where like this is how it's affecting your life. You know? So thank you.
Yay. Virtual hugs.
Virtual hug. For real. And is there a way, my darling, like, let's suppose you know, someone listening in, they've met someone, they've got rid of the outside nonsense. I call it the orange effect. You know, you got the orange peel on the outside, everyone looks great.
Oh my gosh.
The orange is like, there's a true person. But anyway,
that's so awesome. I like that.
Obviously, when you meet someone, what you're dating, my lovely, is their childhood, okay? It's not all that stuff on the outside. You're dating the childhood. But anyway, so you've met someone and you've managed to look beyond the surface and you're feeling good now. It's all feeling good. You've got that vibe, that soulful thing going on. But you're just don't fancy them. Do you know what I mean? Like, they just don't look too cool compared to like how, like, and I've always said, don't care what they look like, you know. But there is no physical attraction. Like, you just don't fancy them. What do you think about that? What do you say about that?
Okay, so I think being attracted to someone in a relationship is really important, because if you're looking to have a relationship with them, then getting married, you are going to sleep with them every day and wake up next to them every day. And obviously, I feel like there's a thin line with this one, because first of all, I don't believe that we should always like settle. You know, I don't believe we should always settle, because I believe that we kind of like came into this world with all of these desires. We have all of these desires, and we're meant to fulfill those desires, because when we do, it's almost like when we fulfill our desires, we give more to the world. Like we're adding so much more to the world when we fulfill our desires. So like, if you desire something, I always encourage my clients, like, what do you desire? Like, what does your heart want? Because I feel like that's a roadmap to what you should be doing with your life. And don't feel guilty about having a desire for these things. If you want to feel magical, if you want to feel like when you're looking at somebody, your eyes are just like, oh! Like, there's nothing wrong with that. And I feel like a lot of us, we feel there's a bit of a block when it comes to like our desires. We feel guilty to desire certain things. We feel guilty to desire like more pleasure in our lives or more money in our lives. And it's a little bit to do with conditioning as well. So I think it's kind of like about letting go of that guilt, or the feeling of like that guilt, like, oh, maybe I shouldn't desire more. Like, maybe I should just be happy and just kind of like accept what I've got in front of me. But it's more about saying, like, these desires that I have were given to me for a reason. Like, I have these desires for a reason, and I believe that my purpose for us is to really fulfill those desires, because when we do, we radiate, we give more to life, we give more to the world, if that makes sense.
But I'm just concerned though, this is a battle that I have. I'm giving advice to myself. It's about that I have. I'm just concerned that if too much focus is given to that, you know, what percentage should we be given to how much do we attract? Should we be given a percentage? How much do we fancy them? Because I'm just concerned that it'd be too big a percentage in our heads, and it's going to override the big bit that we really should be thinking about, is how that person makes us feel. But we're living in this visual world. There's what we call the attraction bias, where we just attract to people that we fancy. There's all sorts of nonsense around that. But that's the bit of a stumbling block for me. It's like, because a person may not particularly look great, perhaps grow on you because they make you feel good.
I really think that can a person grow on you? I think it's a little bit of a tricky one. I think that you should always, obviously there is a thin line. There's a thing where we don't want to be choosing a person based on what society defines as attractive. I feel like that stuff, we need to just kind of like let go of that stuff. Like, it's not about what society believes is meant to be what you should be finding attractive. It's about what you as a person is attracting you, like what's making you feel attracted to them. But I really do think that it's really important for you to kind of like not settle, because like, just from experience, you don't really want to settle.
Is that settling though when it's just a visual thing? I mean, what I'm talking about is the looks. I'm not talking about the person. The person's character is beautiful. They've got great energy, great soul. We're feeling that this is like fire now. It's beautiful. But there's just characteristics, physical characteristics that you're not attracted to. Is that still deemed as settling?
Does that mean, like, if there's like physical characteristics that you're not attracted, do you mean like you're just not attracted to the person at all? Like, you see them and you're not attracted to them? Or there's certain things that you want to change about them?
No. There's soul connection now. Do you know what I mean? We're connected to soul level. But in terms of what I find physically attractive, what your client finds physically attractive, that's not there. Like, because I've seen it before, where I remember I was working in this organisation, and this guy who was stereotypically, and I do this a lot, stereotypically good looking, was a stereotypical pretty girl.
Yeah.
And it was two outsides, two masks, kind of, dealing with each other, and
Yeah.
all very stereotypically put it. And they broke up after some years. And the person he ended up with actually wasn't so stereotypically
Yeah.
what the world puts out there as stereotypically beautiful, but they had the most amazing relationship. And I remember
Yeah.
thinking, like, oh, good on him. Do you know what I mean? That he felt like he actually went for the person as opposed to just the outside.
Yeah. I'd imagine he's still attracted to her though, even though she might not be what society deems to be whatever based on physical outside appearance.
Right.
But if you're attracted to a person, like, because I feel like there's a bit of a difference between you just genuinely feel attracted to the person, or you think based on this like idea they're meant to look this way and this is what's attractive, or like maybe your friends think that a guy who doesn't have a six-pack is not attractive, so apparently if you don't have a six-pack that's not attractive, but you yourself feel attracted to the person, so like
that takes some courage though, doesn't it? Some strength and courage. If like for some, I mean, me, I'm at that age where I don't give a hoot. But if you're in that, you come from that kind of family where it's all about what you look like, how good that's that person, that swagger and all the rest of it. Is she pretty? I want to have that pretty, we've got like, and what's that program that just ended the other day? Love Island and all the rest of it. My pet hates that program. They were just showing that program and then like plastic surgery adverts immediately afterwards, which the advertising people had to shut down. But oh my gosh, we're living in this world. I know we're spiritual, so we can look beyond that. But there's still people in transition. But it's all about what you look like. And my just concern is like people having that courage to be like, okay, you don't find them particularly good looking, but I love them. Do you know what I mean? Like, good luck to you. Stuff you.
Yeah. Yeah, it takes a lot of courage because we're just so used to like caring so much what people think, because we wanna I don't know, like somehow we wanna fit in. We wanna feel like we're part of the, like I've heard that basically like this is like a really old thing where back in the days, if you weren't part of like the village, this is like old days, if you weren't part of the village and you didn't fit in, you'd get kicked out and you'd have to like fend for yourself, and then you wouldn't survive because you'd actually die being out there living by yourself and not being part of the village. So maybe it's like something that's ingrained in us, that in order for us to survive, we need to like kind of like be part of the society, but that's not the case anymore. Anyway, but
do you think that's changing now? Do you think that, because you're certainly right, it's actually, in fact, it's ingrained from caveman days, this whole thing that if you didn't fit in, if you didn't belong to a community, that you would die. So it's kind of an ingrained thing. But do you have hope that that's, because that is the big thing for women at the moment, the whole fitting in, which is what's stopping them from being badass and being their authentic self. But do you hope that fitting in thing is changing? It's nice to hear that. I think that's what is that what you said?
Yeah, I think it is changing, because I believe that more of us women are really starting to kind of like step out and step into ourselves, which is awesome. So, and then the more of us that do that, we then show everybody else like, hey, this is what we can do. Like we'll survive. We'll still survive.
You don't die. In fact, you become more magnetic.
Yeah. You don't die. And then like one thing that always really makes
your
me
mic
like,
for me, hon, your mic.
Oh, sorry, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay. So one thing that always really puts things into perspective for me is that when I get to the end of my life and I've lived my life, I'm at the end of my life, and I look back, how do I want to feel? Do I want to feel like, oh my gosh, I should have done this, or I should have done that? I was at a workshop yesterday, and this guy who was hosting it said that you don't want to look back and see the person you could have been. You want to look back and just be like, you know what? I did everything that I thought I wanted to. I did it. Like, and then like what your friends, what they thought, it wouldn't really matter, because what matters the most is the experiences that you've had with the people that do matter, and the people that support you. And there's a tribe for everybody out there. There's like a tribe for whoever you are. There's always going to be a tribe for you out there. And it's kind of like about really filtering out those people that don't align with you. And the only way that you can do that is by being yourself. Because if you're pretending to be something you're not, then you just have all of these characters that don't really fit into you. And if you really want to find your people, you have to be willing to kind of like really step out and be like, you know what? This is me. Like, this is what I want to do. This is what I want to like. I love that song. Oh my gosh.
I have a poem that I do, and it's got a swear word in it. It's like, this is me, mother. And I make no
That's awesome.
You're saying so many beautiful things. I don't want to stop you to get some bits of, but you're saying so much more stuff. I'm like, hold on.
Oh my God.
What's wonderful, what you said there as well, is like the different characters that are being played. And I sometimes think with the conversation with two people, there could be 4 people in that conversation. So it's like 2 masks and 2 original people. So there's 4 people in the conversation. Like, that's just not a great relationship, is there? When people are playing different roles, there's the real you, there's a fake you. And then I think, when you then live with that person, it's only so long you can put on a mask for.
Yeah.
You want to deal with someone who's authentic, because when you then live with them, you want to know that it's just like true person living together.
Yeah, exactly.
They're taking off their mask, and it's like, well, who are you?
Yeah.
Who's the person that I married?
Exactly. Yeah. You don't want that. And like, when you get married to somebody and you're that close to them, that really affects your life on a massive scale. So you really want to make sure that the people that you're allowing that close to you, like even just like your friends or like your partners, your boyfriend, your girlfriend, those people get really close to you. They really get into your energy, and like, you want to choose them based on how you want your life to turn out, not based on what people might think, because those people, they're not even living with you, they're not sleeping next to you, and even if they are, like, they're still not on the same path with you in your life. So even if it's like what your partner thinks, sometimes we have to just kind of like stay on our own paths. And what those people think, what people might think about what your maybe your boyfriend doesn't look like the same as what is meant to be so cool, like, those people are not going to be the ones that are like, waking up in the morning when you're not feeling sick or whatever and helping you. They're not going to be the one that are there with you every single day. They don't really matter that much. And when, like I said, like, when you get to the end of your life, I don't even know if you're going to remember those people. I don't even know if they're going to be in there. It's
such an important message, Han, such an important message. I know that the reality, because don't forget, I'm a bit older than you as well. So a lot of people like my age group, which is why I think from the time I was born, I think they thought I was crazy, because I just never saw the world like that. But certainly a lot of people my age group, I'd meet them, it's just like these roles, these identities that they've adopted, that, husband, 2.2 children, the dog, blah, blah. And even if that person was making them ill, do you know what I mean? Because it was a part of their identity, they have to be mad at. And I was just like, I'd rather be by myself, because I do myself. I love myself. I actually enjoy my own company very much. But identities that they've adopted, and therefore in relationship, like living with narcissists, getting mental abuse and all sorts, because they have to maintain that role. And like you said, that's something for them to stop and reflect on, like, this is the one life. When I get to the end, this is it, just to fill this role. There's like, for who? Who are you giving your power away to? I think that's and like I said as well, that life of regrets. And, I remember being very, very young and overhearing a conversation with adults. Very young, I was 8, and just hearing everybody saying, oh, I regret not doing this, I regret that. And I remember from that very young age thinking, I don't want to live my life like regretting things. Like, no, let's live.
You're so right. We got one life.
For real.
We've got one life, and it's about really kind of like always tuning into what really matters in our lives, and just not always just kind of like living with our eyes covered, like just remembering what really matters and what we want this life to be.
Love it.
Yeah.
Okay, my darling. So, of course, we can go on for ages. Relationships is a big topic. So, no doubt I'm going to have to do more with you on this.
Yay.
It'll be fantastic, because I love you. I love your vibe. Love what you stand for. And for me, it's so you can feel like, is it just me who feels like this? So.
This is so awesome.
And then your full name, we call you Confi. Your full proper name is actually Confidence, isn't it?
Yes, it's confidence.
What a badass parents you had.
Yeah.
Can you give my listeners, please, 3 badass tips on finding, manifesting a relationship that will set their soul on fire?
Okay, so the first tip is just really kind of like really working on yourself, because your relationships are really much a reflection of who you are on the inside. So when you become better as a person, as a woman, you just attract much better relationships. And then you have better standards. Like, if I know that I'm amazing because I invest in myself, I'm not going to tolerate crap. Like, I know what kind of crap. I know what kind of crap that I'm not going to tolerate crap.
Yeah.
So it's really kind of like really investing in yourself and working yourself, just improving yourself as a woman and letting go of those layers. That's really important. Was that 1 tip or 2? I don't know.
You could have combined a couple. So the recap.
And another tip as well would be just developing just understanding of people. And I find that when you work on understanding yourself more, that also helps you to understand people a bit more, because when you understand how your own ego works, you can start to see it in other people as well, and then people don't like trigger you as much. So like really understanding how people work, understanding how to communicate with people better, that really helps your relationships as well, because it helps how you make them feel, because it's not just a one side street. Yeah, like you want to make sure that you feel good with the people in your relationships, but you also want to make sure that the person you're in a relationship with, they also feel good in that relationship. So it's not just like a one side street. And in order for that to happen, it just comes with more understanding of how people work, or how men work, or women, and I'm always working on how I can improve myself and my communication. And whenever like I have challenges in my relationship, I'm always looking to improve, like what could I have done better. So yeah, just like working on yourself, working on understanding people, just goes a long way.
Good. And tip number 3.
Tip number 3. Oh my gosh. Okay. So we didn't dive into this, but one of the big things that really affects like the relationships we have in our lives is how we manage our emotions, like our feelings.
We need to do a whole show on that one, Zoe. Don't get too much.
Yeah.
We tip, but we'll do something on that. Yes, because managing them, I had such a challenge with that one. So yes, I
think we all do.
I'm like, we're getting better, but yes.
Yeah, like just improving on how we manage our emotions, and just being willing to just like learn more on how we can manage our emotions, and just make our emotions work better for us instead of having our emotions control us, basically. Yeah. So
I love it.
I think that was 3 tips.
Excellent. Well, energy, I'm convinced it's my energy that attracted you, that you connected with me, and I'm just like, because I think it is a recent switch, and then just like, and then you popped up, and I was like, no.
That is so awesome. You know what? Yeah, I was saying this to my boyfriend yesterday. I was like, literally, just like the other day, I was saying to myself, like, I'd love to have an interview with like one other like badass woman, and just like we can just do this. And then you showed up. It's like, oh my gosh, universe, thank you.
Literally, I was with my coach the other day, and they said something that made me think, right, you're going to be going there more down the spiritual path. That's where you're about. And then you popped up.
Oh my gosh. Yay.
That's where my interview should be going and stuff. And then literally you came up, and I was like, oh, where you requested me as a friend. I was like, hold on. Hold on a minute.
This is amazing. This is alignment.
This is absolutely alignment, my darling. Well, Confi, how do we get hold of you for some badass relationship coaching and to manifest the relationship that sets our soul on fire? How do they get hold of you?
Okay, so I've got my Facebook profile, and I hang out on there quite often, which is Confi, so CONFI, and then R for Romeo, which is like my middle name, and then my surname, which is Chiname, CHINAME. So if you just tap that into Facebook, you find my profile. You can just add me as a friend. I also have a Facebook group, which is called Mindset Boss Babes. So if you type that into Facebook, there's just like a group of really badass women in there, and I go live in there. I do a lot of trainings on just like all things like relationships, manifestation, and women empowerment, how we can just become just that better version of ourselves. And I'm also on Instagram as Mindset Boss Babe.
Fabulous. And you do some great videos as well. I've seen some of them and they're absolutely awesome. Well,
Yeah.
Confi, you are truly a badass. You are breaking rules, writing your own story, doing things your way. And I absolutely adore you and I can't thank you enough.
Oh, I'm so happy to hear that. Thank you so much.
Just enough. Let me just double check this was recording, and it is. I put it on automatic record, but I just panicked and I thought it'd be a shame if it wasn't.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for joining us, okay?
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Catch you later.
Catch you later.